Karens of Reddit. How's your life as a Karen? Story 1. I know a Karen on Facebook. The first birthday after I lost my dog, she sent me $500 to buy a puppy. I've never met her in my life, but she's always been great. Edit. She's doing well, her husband still has the same job, and her kids are doing great. My dog is a girl. Karen is female, not secretly a old dude, or did something wrong to me. She just cared. She isn't rich. $500 is more than half of the family's income. She said her husband was all in on it too. Story 2. I know a Karen who's a fucking legend. She works with my mom in an office building, and whenever we come in on school holidays, she buys us lunch. We do cool shit in the city, etc. 10 out of 10 would Karen again. Story 3. My friend's mom's name is Karen, and once when we were driving, a Karen bit came on the radio, and she got so offended. Changed it saying how unfunny, mean, and upsetting it was. When we got out of the car, my friend whispered, "Such a Karen," and we could not stop laughing. Not that funny, but it's 15 years later, and sometimes we will still send each other Karen memes just saying "you're." My mom would hate this. To be fair, this Karen was like a second mother to me, and a very kind and generous one. I spent so many days and nights at her house. I owe many of my favorite birthday parties to her, and looking back I can't imagine how much money she must have spent on me, all just because of my friendship with her daughter. She never made me feel like a burden, or even like I wasn't family. The most Karen thing about her is her reaction to Karen jokes. Story 4. I am a Karen. You know that activity you do in grade school where you write an adjective for every letter of your name? There weren't many options for K except for kindness. Nicknames growing up from friends and grown-ups included Karen, Care Bear, etc. I've always associated my name with an expectation to be kind. Karens are subconsciously trained to be a good people, no matter what the memes say. Story 5. My niece is a Karen. She's 8 going on 39. She is the de facto babysitter. Even her older brother listens to her, the teacher's pet, and the voice of reason. When I asked her what she wants for Christmas, she told me, books. But remember, you have to buy gifts for the babies, her younger siblings, and your son. When I told her that my brother was coming to visit, she said, if you fight, you have to apologize because he's your brother and it's better to love each other. She gives me directions to her house from her booster seat in the back of the car. Karen is the most serious, conscientious kid in the world. So, when my son and I hang out with her, we go to the children's museum or the park or the pool, somewhere she can let it all out and be a silly little kid. Story 6. Hi, I'm Karen, half-elf sorcerer. God has been cruel to me. I've considered changing my name but fear the rest of my party may still call me Karen. All my life people enjoyed ridiculing me because of my name. Several months ago my life, much more simple. You see, all I wanted to do was make a bit of gold, cause some people panic as I rolled their life savings away with my rather special dice. Jumping town to town, of course, I never stayed somewhere long. As soon as my name got out, it was on to a new town. I preferred being alone because of this. And I never felt bad taking others' money from them. They deserved it. It was a vegetable salesman here, a barkeep there. If I was lucky, a noble or shopkeeper would take me on. All had done something to deserve it. Eventually they'd learn my name. The jokes would start. I hated the jokes. But a couple months ago I took on the wrong person. A captain of a ship, going supposedly to check out some island. Had I known he was in tight with the town's governor, I'd not have tried him. He figured out my tricks, far too late. I'd already taken 150 pieces from him, but apparently word gets around to traveling folks faster. You little shit, I've been waiting to run into you, Karen, he had said. I rolled my eyes. It never makes things better, but I always get my way eventually. This was a mere annoyance. I'd just gotten here. My feet were tired, and I'd spent my gold on a new outfit. One thing led to another. He said he'd not turn me in if I sailed on his ship. He could tell I had magic, something I tried to keep to myself. Again, I roll. I agreed. Worst mistake of my life. See, from here there are two sides of this story. My side and the paladin's side. I'm telling you my side since this is a story about why being named Karen is so goddamn awful. Arrive to said island. Team up with Stick Up His Ass Paladin. Find big glowing evil orb in crater. Start moving down crater and find cave. See, I'm not one to not go after things that could make me a quick buck. These creatures we ran into had literal glowing gems on their backs. So, when we killed them, I attempted to take one with me. Except my latest shopping adventure in town was in my pack with me. I wasn't leaving it aboard a ship with hooligans. And a captain angry at me. I had hardly any gold left. I needed that gem, but I couldn't fit it on my person, and the stupid paladin wouldn't hold on to it. So, I let my temper get the best of me and chucked it off the side of the cliff into the crater. Yeah, that crater. The one with the giant glowing evil orb. That's how I caused the literal beginning of the end of the world. And all the stupid paladin said was, "Good going, Karen." The stupid paladin didn't even stick around to help fix the mistake he helped by being an ASS cause. Now I'm stuck with this bard who seems to be some masked hero that thinks we didn't figure that out in about 5 seconds, that it was really him who has the voice of reason for the group, a chick who's way too religious power for my taste, but still better than that stupid paladin. And this druid child who can't read but won't tell anyone he can't read and has this strange obsession with cows. Anyways, we robbed, or should I say blew up, a bank a few weeks ago. Money monster released from orb. I think God is fucking with me. The bard didn't want us to take anything. Karen, this is to kill the monster only, he said. I stuffed as much gold as I could in my pockets when he turned around. I won't need to trick people for a while. Probably a good thing since we completely destroyed the world's largest bank and screwed an entire economy for a while. From then it's just been, Karen, stop doing that. Karen, why do you use the same spell all the time? Karen, you're so basic. Karen, we aren't using Ollie, child druid, as bait. Karen, why are you so evil? Karen, why did you touch that thing? Karen, that's a bad idea. Karen, why do you have bad ideas? Karen, why did you cause the end of the world? I didn't mean to. Do you know what it's like having the easiest name to blame everything on? If that paladin had thrown that orb in there, no one would know it was him. I can't even remember the son of a bitch's name. But obviously he's been going around to other towns telling people Karen caused the end of the world before I can even defend myself. Hell, I bet people wouldn't even know the world was ending. But because Karen caused it, God forbid. You know I do only 1 to 3 spells, so my party thinks I'm worthless? You know why? So maybe one day they'll just leave me behind. But the stupid kid keeps saying things like, Karen, you are boring. Boring, Karen. Basic. So basic. Well, fuck you, Ollie. So yeah. Life as Karen sucks, thanks. Story 7. Pretty decent. Had a bit of a scare recently as the Connecticut branch of the paper company I work for shut down, so I had to transfer to the Pennsylvania branch. I still have a job with the company, so that's a blessing. I just started dating a coworker too, which I know is pretty taboo, but he's a really nice guy, and luckily he's transferring to Pennsylvania with me. Funny coincidence, because he used to work at the Pennsylvania branch before moving to Connecticut. The new boss is a little obnoxious, but everyone else seems nice, especially the receptionist. I see her becoming a really close friend. Really looking forward to the next few months. I can't imagine how anything could go wrong. Story 8. I have bright blue hair. I make sure to use my voice to lift up people around me, including any time I ask to speak to a manager. And I make sure to annoyingly tell my friends not all Karens or something similar when they post memes. I tip well and thank all of the people in the service industry. Evidently, I'm not that type of Karen. I do have all my shit together, and I always have, and I value kindness, so there may be some ingrained training. That 9 years old mentioned somewhere else in this thread sounded eerily on point. I don't work in HR or marketing. Totally hope to be a MILF someday. I love when pretty characters are named Karen, or the actresses. I can't date guys who are oblivious to the Karen meme. Yes, some people don't even know. As far as I know, my name hasn't stopped anyone from going on a date with me. My life is going pretty well. Here's to trying to be a better person in 2019. Story 9. My mom is a Karen. She kind of fits some suburban mom stereotypes, though we live in a rural area, like driving a hybrid SUV or coaching my sister's rec league soccer, but in general she's a really awesome and relaxed parent. She lets me go almost anywhere without asking. I'm 18 anyway, but I do still ask her permission to go certain places. She doesn't care that I got a tattoo. And her stance on drinking and drugs, clarification. By drugs, I mostly mean weed. Is that she figures I'll try it sometime and she'd rather I just be safe and honest about it. She let me get on birth control without question when I wanted it, and when I started dieting and exercising in my senior year of high school, she bought me a Fitbit and started cooking healthier. She has a degree in theatrical makeup, so she's amazing at Halloween, and every year she makes a Christmas-themed piñata for our annual holiday party, and they always look awesome. This year was the Grinch. She co-owns an audio software business with my dad, and they get me into concerts and plays via their job. I mean, she's not perfect. She has a short temper, and she can be passive-aggressive, and she struggled for a long time understanding my mental illnesses because she was super popular and well-adjusted at my age, but she still got me right into therapy when I needed it, and our relationship now is pretty great. I totally just wanted an excuse to gush about my mom. I love her, and she's my hero. I'm glad I was raised by a Karen. Story 10. My grandma is a Karen. Sweetest, soft-spoken old lady. She's so worried about bothering people by asking for help with anything as she gets older, which us grandchildren try to tell her is not okay, and ridiculous not ask us. A few years back, it took her falling out on the floor for us to find out she had a brain aneurysm. Had to be rushed for emergency surgery and almost didn't make it. When I asked her why she didn't tell anyone she wasn't feeling well, her response was, "Well, I just had a headache. Nothing worth mentioning." Although I am aware the signs can be very subtle, she said she was having the same headache non-stop for about a week. I would think that would be worth mentioning. I love Mama to death and will be really sad when her time does come. Best Karen I've ever known. She even taught me in preschool over 20 years ago, and last Thanksgiving she accidentally put cinnamon in the potato salad instead of Tony's, I think. Everyone gave her a hard time about it in a light, funny kind of way, but she was so embarrassed, poor thing. She's lived quite a life though, from living anywhere from Spain to Germany to Pennsylvania. I love hearing her stories about the 50s and 60s and how she gets so angry when talking about the JFK assassination. She swears LBJ had something to do with it, and she despises that man. LOL. I could go on and on about my grandma Karen. Story 11. I know of a girl who once told everyone at work she divorced her husband and kept the house and the car and the kids. Her and her friend high-fived and gloated about it. I sort of knew the guy, and he was a cool guy and was very nice. They only got a divorce because she started cheating on him with a 19-year-old dude at work. She's in her late 30s. Later on, I met her sister-in-law, and her sister-in-law told us that they never got divorced, and she just borrows the car to go to work, and she's still married with her husband, but she's still cheating on him. It made sense because after the divorce, she'd stop by work with her husband and his parents. Why would you still hang out with all of them if you got a divorce in which you got to keep everything? She also lied about owning a sex shop. She never owned it, she just worked there. She would always brag about meeting hot girls and having three-way lesbian orgies and shit with them, but she was like in her late 30s, probably in the 220 to 250 pounds range, and was like 5 feet 2 inches. And her friends were all about the same, so you can imagine that's not a type of orgy you'd want to be a part of. Unless you're into those type of women. Anyways, that's my Karen story. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, activate the notification bell, and share a similar story or anything you'd like to say in the comments. See you next time.